everybody.
Hello, how you doing?
And welcome back to another yet a great upload with the life of
Cheryl and Chris.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, today is Friday.
Yes.
Can everybody say Friday?
Friday.
We've had we had a great day. It was at the station, did our show this morning.
Yes.
And now we are on our way up to Waco to go pick up a loaner car.
Oh, really?
Now, if y'all remember a couple videos back, I told you we had an appointment made to take Cheryl's car.
Did we ever talk about that?
No, we just said we had to get something done on it.
Oh, yeah.
We took Cheryl's, we had an appointment to take Cheryl's car to Ford. Now, listen, let me give y'all a little layout what's going on here. This has been kind of what could have been a nightmare that may turn out to be a rainbow.
A blessing in disguise.
You know, it's a little bit aggravation, a little bit more than what we thought was going to be into this. But basically what happened was we bought the car brand new from one Ford dealership out in McGregor, Texas. And it was brand spanking new, 2020 Ford Escape. By the time we came back with our first oil change, Cheryl started noticing just a little bit of sound, not majorly, but enough to hear, you know, something wasn't right.
You heard something too.
Yeah, and I heard it too. So we told them about it. They checked, said, we didn't find anything wrong with it. Then, fast forward about another year later, and we've been still hearing the sound getting progressively worse. We took it in when we went to that trip to Ohio. Remember we told y'all we're going to drop the car off, and we did. Well, they said they found some gravel and rocks and stuff, and they just cleaned it out, the rocks, which I don't believe we had any rocks in it, but that's what they told us. And everything was fine. I think what they ended up doing was just sprayed some brake cleaner, and that temporary will stop the squealing, but it wears off. So, like Cheryl said, when we was almost got home, she started hearing it again.
Yes.
We could hear it again. We was like, oh man, it sounds right back. So I was like, well, you know, they kept saying it was just rocks, so I guess we'll be all right with it. But then when I was in the hospital, she really noticed it was kicking up.
Yeah, because going back and forth to the hospital.
And all that driving and stuff. And it's a good thing because I haven't told her this part yet. But I'll tell it here in a second so she'll hear it. Because I don't like her to worry and stuff. But it's probably good that I said, hey, let's go take the car back again after Christmas because we were still hearing the sound. Now, when we took it here to the Ford place, they told us at first, oh, you got glazed rotors is what they text me. And I'm like, I know from my expertise in the auto world
Auto business.
that you can't, that's kind of like saying I got a cut, but you don't know how I got there. No, a knife cut you, something had to do it.
Yeah.
So when they told us that, little bells were going off my head saying, nah, they're not looking just like they haven't been. So they said, we just got to turn the rotors. I was like, oh, God. Shouldn't have to turn any rotors on a car that's new. You turn rotors on vehicles that are, 7, 8 years old, yeah, you might have to start turning your rotors. Them rotors can last almost the life of a car, so why the hell do you have to turn them? Cut and make a new, they shave all that glaze part off, and then it's kind of like they go down about a quarter of an inch thickness so they can get that new metal. But that's not going to resolve the problem because now, and they told us it's going to be $185.
Yeah.
I'm thinking now, so I started making all these calls, y'all. You know, Chris is going to fight this if he don't think I'm right. And I called Ford customer service, which I'm sorry, but their customer service sucks. They really don't try to do much. You tell them what's going on, and they kind of put the responsibility back on the dealership again.
Do is make up a case number.
Yeah, they're just writing down what you say, and they send you on your way. They're not really advocates. So I did manage to get a hold of Mr. Farley, Jim Farley. Now he's the CEO of Ford Motor Company, and he just became the new CEO. Because it was Alan something, and Alan gave up the position, and this guy took over. Well, long story short, I text him, and of course you get that. I knew he was going to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We apologize and for your inconvenience." Now, don't apologize. Do something about it. So he said he would call the dealership himself and get it straight. I said, okay. I ain't heard nothing back from him. Now, fast forward today. Keep in mind, they told us yesterday the car would be ready.
They told us Tuesday the car would be ready.
Oh, was it?
Wednesday.
Oh, was it Wednesday?
Yesterday is when they told us.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Something about the hub.
You're right. Okay, so let me backtrack. We took it on Tuesday.
Yeah, we took it Tuesday.
They said it'd be ready on Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen. And then they say, oh, you know what? We found out that the hub assembly is bad. It was weld out. But they kept insisting it was from heavy braking at first.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody been heavy braking. The car's got barely 12,000 miles on. It's mint condition, y'all.
Really?
In fact,
Except for that sound.
In fact, Cheryl's car has a positive equity in it because she's been paying it quicker and paying so much on it. So versus the mileage helped keep it at positive equity. And the car is not dented, it's not scratched, it's not held up, it's nothing like that. So I was like, no, come on, man. So then they started kind of playing with the idea of y'all may not have to pay anything. We're gonna try
That's what he told us yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said
because maybe that hub assembly, the problem it was having was causing that rotor or that other thing.
Well, yeah, it would be.
Yes.
Well, it would be. So therefore, the third is covered by the secondary problem.
Yes.
Well, get this. Now today, we thought they called us this morning and told Cheryl the part came in, the hub assembly, and it's a big piece, y'all. It's like a thing with 3 arms coming out different ways. It connects into your drive axle, and your drive axle connects into your transmission, and etc. So it's kind of a pain in the ass to put in there. And then they have to use a machine that presses it in there because you don't want that to fall out when you're going down the road or you're gonna have an accident. Okay, so now they said they discovered that the bearings are bad.
Yeah, they said they think it came like that in that part when they got it.
Oh, from the part itself?
That's what he said.
That you mean that they delivered the parts were already bad?
That's what I think. That's what he was saying. That's before I gave the phone to you.
I think the whole damn thing was bad when it came off the assembly line.
I think so.
At least in that department.
Yeah.
The rest of the car seems to be all right.
Yeah.
And that's possible because, listen, y'all, man-made is man broke.
Yeah.
And people make this stuff quick. Factories are making these parts, and sometimes you get new parts that are defective. Just like, I ordered something in the mail one time, it was all broken up. That's how it is.
Really?
Hey, I got to send this back, get me another one.
Really?
So, because even shipping can hurt that stuff.
Yeah.
We don't know how they throwing that stuff around.
We don't.
So, long story short, it wasn't the best experience with Ford.
But he called us today.
Yeah?
And told us that they wasn't going to be able to finish it today.
No.
So he said somebody just brought a loaner car in, so he put it back for me. So asked me, if I wanted to loan a car.
And I'm pretty sure they're in high demand with as many cars they got over there.
They got
so we were lucky, but I think they knew not to pass it on to nobody else before they asked us. Because we've been through, what start off as, hey, y'all got to pay for this because it's not covered under your warranty. To now it's
12,000 miles.
And they're even going to charge the rental car and the gas and everything back to Ford.
Really?
Which I think is the right thing to do.
Yes.
Ford needs to stand behind their products just like any car company should. And they
don't want to eat it all, so they're going to pass it on to Ford.
No, of course, they don't want to lose money. They want their money too. They weren't going to lose their money, I guarantee you. Because they were adamant about us paying $185 to begin with. And I was like, I told the guy yesterday, I was like, so you mean because I told you I didn't want to pay for the car, now y'all didn't even work on it? We did get a lot of different...
That's what I'm talking about.
We did get a lot of different stories. Because they told me that the mechanic was already working on it. Then they told Cheryl they were working on it, right? They said they had it up in the lift or something.
They said they had it on the lift.
Then they come back and tell me the mechanic ain't going to touch it. That's what the lady told me. I thought the service line.
Then she said they waiting to hear back from Ford.
Yes, we got a lot of different stories about what was going on. Because they were like, well, you said you weren't going to pay for it, so we're just waiting to see if Ford comes through with the payment. I said, Ford ain't going to come through the payment because y'all didn't submit no pictures. What? It's just a big hairball. And
like you said, long story short.
Yes.
we don't have to pay now.
No.
And we're going to pick up a rental.
Just like I told their stupid asses to begin with, we shouldn't have been paying.
And hopefully when we get our car back
it's going to be right.
Week, it's going to be right.
Now here's the good thing about it. Because they got to put a new hub assembly in, and it also is going to have new bearings. Keep in mind that Cheryl has to remember from 1 year from the time she picks the car up, they say it's ready. That now is covered under warranty, regardless of what her factory warranty says. That part of so if the parts fail again, would it before 12 months now?
Hopefully not.
No, it shouldn't. But if it does, she's covered again, 100%. The dealership and Ford would have to take care of that, because anytime you have new work performed, it gets its own separate 1 year warranty.
That's true.
So that's a good thing, because basically our regular coverage would run out in August.
Yeah.
Or September. August,
we have to
September.
get us some extended coverage, I guess.
I told her we're probably going to have to look into Car Shield.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
We need to call.
I haven't found out much.
No, we'll call and talk to them.
Yeah.
Because when you go online, I found out something. What? They don't give you all the pricing up front for how much their package are, because every car is different, and they go according what if you want it. 50,000, or you want your car to be covered to 100,000 on the speedometer, they tell you, 6,000, 100, 120. So, and the higher you go up on your mileage, of course, the more it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're covering it longer.
Yeah.
And I found out they go all the way up to 200,000 miles.
I
don't know we'll keep that car that long anyways, but...
or if we'll be here to drive it that long. But one thing I want to say, a positive thing, my husband really did try. And I'm not going to lie, he is a hothead at times when he's talking about stuff like this, but he was very professional. He talked, they knew that he knew what he was talking about. And when he called, like he said, he called Ford to talk for us, to advocate for me and for us. Then he found the number for the CEO, Ford. He texted him or wrote to him or whatever. The man texted him back and, said he would he would find out what was happening for this. So that's one thing I really appreciate him for. He does know about cars. And I tell my sister or anybody, he knows his cars. You can say what you want, but he knows his cars. And he loves me and he advocates for me. So I really appreciate that. I know when I was taking dialysis, the lady was telling me, your husband really advocates for you. You could tell he just really loves you. I wish my husband was like that. So that's one good thing I just wanted to say.
I know my car is about as good as I know how my hamburger should be. So I'm really glad that we got to prove our point on this, because I knew from the beginning there was something going on, and I kept saying, I don't think this is going to solve the problem. They're going to send us home, and it's still going to be a problem. Now, here's the part I didn't tell Cheryl, which I'm glad, because, see, I was nervous because I said, they're going to come and tell us, all right, your car's ready, come pick it up. Even if the noise wasn't making no noise for a while, now that I know what is actually wrong with the car, and they told me the hub assembly was bad, and and now it's the bearings too, The problem with that is anytime a hub, and especially on these little cars, it's even worse. But, well, actually the bigger cars is worse because there's more weight. But still, there's a lot of weight on the hub, because that's your whole tire. Your whole life, I used to tell anybody that would come into my store, and they would want to come in, they say, hey, I got some squealing going on. And when I would go out there and listen to it, sometimes you hear it right, they just barely back up, and then you hear it. And I would look and stick my finger in there, I could feel the grooves on the rotor, or I would check to see stuff. And I'll say, hey, your brakes is bad. How much are brakes? And I would tell them, right? Well, the first thing that most people want to do is, let me go with them cheap ones, those $21 ones. Well, I recommend you go with the $60 one. I don't want to pay it. I told them, and I would tell them, I said, look, I'm all about saving money, but I'm going to tell you right now, there's two things on a car that you never want to compromise, and that's brakes, because that's your life. If you can't stop your car, then you got a problem. Two things, stopping and starting. Don't go with a cheap battery, and don't go with cheap brakes. Everything else in between you might could get around because it's not as dangerous. But knowing that the hub assembly was bad and it was welled out, it would have been a matter of time that Cheryl would have been on the road, and I see them all the time, and the tires do this.
Oh, that's how those...
They break off.
I've seen that too.
Now, the bad thing is you could be going like this down the road at 70, and when it breaks off, your tire literally just comes off, and then you're on 3 wheels until you crash.
I saw a lady on YouTube. She was driving like that. She didn't realize it or what. Or she was just trying to get somewhere.
It happens fast.
Traffic. Yeah.
Yeah, but next thing you know, your tire's really going off. And for a second, you'll drive on 3 wheels until your weight of the car falls. But here's the thing. Can you imagine how many people get killed just on something like that?
And you weren't telling me that?
I didn't know it was the wheel hub yet.
But even when you know, you could have told me right then, babe.
But I didn't want to scare you.
Well, that wasn't gonna scare me.
See, the thing is, a lot of people like when I did look at the pad. I did look at the rotors when I was out there today, and I didn't see no grooves. They said there was a little bit of grooving. Well, if there's grooves, it's because the caliper is closing shut and it's not open all the way up. So when you hit your brakes, it's kind of riding and it's scraping your pads the whole time you're going down the road. Sometimes you hear it. It's a shaving noise because the caliper is shaving the rotors as you're going down the road, which is bad because then it sands down your disc. Your rotors should be this thick, and when they shave them, they probably shave them too small, and you could literally snap them.
So they're gonna have to put new rotors on?
Oh yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the whole hub assembly goes into that rotor, and then that rotor is where the bearings go back on the other side of it. So you're definitely gonna get one new rotor, but in my opinion, I know they're not gonna do it. But your car is relatively very new, so you could get it with it. Never replace just one rotor. If you ever have to replace your rotor on the car, always replace them in pairs, y'all. Just like brake pads. Don't try to do one side of brake pads and not the other side. You need to do a complete brake job or a complete replacement of your rotors at the same time. Don't cut corners with that. And also, Blake, and I'm sure they notice at the dealership, but they're gonna have to bleed her brakes again, and they have to make sure they get all the air out of the lines, because if not, she'll be trying to do like this going down the road, and she'll have them bubbles in the way and can't stop.
Well, I thought they were saying they didn't even have that part out yet.
What part?
The rotors. How are they gonna get new rotors?
Oh, Ford got them.
Oh, okay, but they haven't issued.
They don't issue. They won't license AutoZone or O'Reilly's or anybody like that to sell them.
Oh, okay.
You can get them at the part. You have to go through Ford to get them.
Oh, okay.
Now you can go to the parts center in Ford and you can buy it, but you're gonna pay like $500 for that rotor.
Oh, okay.
Versus when the O'Reilly finally gets licensed, they may be $200.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying they don't have to get one from somewhere.
Yeah. No, Ford got them.
Get it through Ford.
Yeah, Ford's the only one that got the parts for the car. Okay. They just don't want to release it to franchisees like auto parts places.
Oh, okay.
And they have to wait till they get granted permission and a license to do that. And normally, after 2 years, by the third year, and this will be a third year, probably by August, you'll be able to start getting brake pads and stuff for your car. It shouldn't be more than 3 years that they release the parts.
Yeah.
In other words, they try to make all the money they can in the first 3 years through Ford before they let the part house make their business. Because think about it. If you can get, how many people will go back to the dealership and buy a battery? If you go to dealership and you buy a Ford Motorcraft battery, which is what's going to be in your car, it'll be a Motorcraft. And I haven't looked up, but I'm pretty sure it's Motorcraft, unless they branched off and went with Interstate, but I doubt it. Ford uses all their own parts. If you go back and buy a Motorcraft battery, that battery's going to be $300 and some to put in your car.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you go to AutoZone O'Reilly, you can get a battery for your car. It's going to be like $180 plus tax. It'll be a little over $200. Would you want to spend $300 or $200?
I want to spend $200.
And it's the same quality.
Yeah.
It's the battery. You know, you're getting the gold series or whatever you're getting. And I know my battery. So no, I don't go to the dealership for my batteries. What's this guy doing, man?
With all this junk he got on the back. Why don't he want to get over it?
Come on! Got people. I'm sorry, y'all, but I got people almost crashing in me because this is not a good spot to be slowing down.
I guess he thought that truck was gonna run into him or something. He must be trying to go to the recycle place and all that junk he got on the back.
Let's get away from them.
Got a scooter or something on the back too. I bet he going there.
Well, this is not the time to get. Now you got the 18-wheeler mad at him because I had this Ford truck almost run into us. because they were coming around there and they wouldn't expect me to be doing 2 miles an hour on the turn. Okay, sorry y'all. This gets scared these drivers. Typical Friday drivers. So, anyways,
we're on our way up here.
So I'm glad they got Cheryl a loaner car to use.
Really?
Because she's got to take William to a doctor appointment on Monday. And we were just down to my truck, and so we worked out all right with that. Even though she could have still drove his car too.
Yes.
I noticed, and I heard it the other day, and I'm surprised that our son didn't tell us this.
Message from
but his car is making, well, it's making kind of like I don't know if he's here, but I think I need to look at his car. I think he needs some grease. I think his axle needs grease. That's what it sounded like. But and then he's and it's probably so because I think his shocks need to be replaced. Because when he comes out of our driveway, he hits the thing, and he should be hitting that.
He was saying that.
Yeah.
New text
oh my gosh.
+18668
I don't know who that is. That's some.
What had they been fixing on William's car? You know, when you took it to the shop that time. Can't remember.
I don't remember.
But it was making some kind of noise.
It was making a noise somewhere. But it was something to do with his, I think his back brake or something.
Oh, I don't know what.
You know what? I don't remember. I don't remember. Maybe it was.
Yeah.
But it sounded like I'm hearing that same kind of noise again.
Yeah, he said to come back.
That's what it sounded. And I heard that sitting in the house when he left the other day from coming over having Christmas dinner or New Year's dinner, whatever it was. And he was going home. I heard it. That's why I looked out the window. I heard it. I was like, oh God. I said, his car doesn't sound so good. So yeah,
that
I said,
sun is in my eyes.
oh yeah, it's bright, isn't it?
Really?
Thankfully, when we come back, it won't be in your eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all, it just crazy. We've had one hell of a time with this car.
Really?
So I'll be glad. We probably won't get it back till Monday. I doubt it. I bet it'd be more like Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that means it's been there a week.
Yeah, really, we took it
a whole week by come next Tuesday already. For something that they pretty much said need to be shaved rotors down.
Yeah.
Cut rotors don't take but 10 minutes, so y'all figure out how this turned in.
I think they knew that already.
I think they did too.
Really?
And they were just trying to figure out how they were going to put this on us, I think.
Yeah. Because, and if that man was doing that, he knew. And that's why we didn't get to talk to anyone on Wednesday. They knew what was going on.
Well, see,
that's why she was saying.
See, the thing is, they have caller ID and they can see our number.
Yeah.
And I bet they kept saying, "Oh, there goes the queues." You know, they call it again.
The cares.
Yeah, and they're ignoring them because they knew we were trying to get answers, and we were putting pressure on y'all.
Yeah.
I was, and Cheryl kept calling and leaving messages with everybody, every service agent, text voicemail.
We had one guy that John. He called us and talked to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he sounded like he was talking all right then.
I personally, truly, honestly, I think
they knew.
I think they were trying to bamboozle us a little bit, and then I also think they were trying to give us incorrect information because they already knew we were right.
I think when they knew a lot about cars, they kind of said, "We ain't gonna get away with this."
Well, no.
You know?
And that's why, and then I told him, I said, well, then I'm going to have to pursue this a little further.
Yeah, we did tell him that.
And sometimes you have to, y'all, because you can't let people run over you. And sometimes it's all how you handle it. Now, in the past, I used to just yell, hey, you know what, I'm just going to sue your tail. No, you just tell them, well, I will have to look into further and maybe escalate this. It's how you word it. But either way, you still make your point known.
Yeah.
Because, listen, last thing we need to do is pay $185 for her to be right back on the road is something that's dangerous to drive and maybe could have cost her life later down the road. Or racked up a hell of a big bill or screwed her transmission up, and then they'll say, y'all messed the transmission up. We can't pay for that because y'all were driving around with a bad hub. So, I mean, y'all should have came in sooner. You get where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Oh, no. We're not playing that game.
We already had to replace the transmission in our other car, Nisi, and it wasn't even 60,000 miles. We're glad we had that extended
And started going out again, wasn't it? By the time we got ready to get rid of it.
Air conditioner.
Oh, the air conditioner, yeah. We had
Yeah.
replaced the air conditioner, and Cheryl paid $1,400 or something for that. And then it started to go out again.
Yeah, that's why we got rid of it.
We just decided to trade that sucker, and that's what we got this one.
We lucked out on the transmission because it was just right up under the
We
60,000
did.
miles.
Ooh, you ain't lying.
Really.
Well,
And this is because of this guy that knows about cars. We were driving to Temple or somewhere today. He said, this is feeling kind of funny. And we even took it to the transmission place. And the man said it was all right.
we did.
And it went out on us.
I knew that guy was full of it.
Really.
That guy, I tell you, that's why I'm saying, y'all take your car to a place like that. You know you're having transmission problems, and the transmission guy sends you on your way and says everything's fine. Come on. People don't need to be in business if they can't steer you right.
It home.
Yeah.
And we went straight to the dealership with it.
Well, hopefully we won't have any more issues with her car after this for at least a good long while.
Hopefully.
And we'll probably hopefully have our extended warranty if I will.
Yeah.
Because y'all, these cars nowadays, engine and transmission will kill you if you don't have a new warranty. People can't come up with no $3,000-$4,000 repair bills. Your car just be sitting there.
Is this where you need to go off?
No, remember that one was closed.
Oh yeah, that one.
We'll take the next one. We learned that the other day.
Oh yeah.
Imperial, we gotta go around Imperial.
Okay.
So we know now. We'll keep an eye on her car, and you hear any noise, she'll let me know.
Oh yeah.
I don't
New
really.
text message from +123 3488.
I don't know. I don't drive her car that much because I call it the tuna can. That's because of my size. It ain't nothing really wrong with the car, but I will ride it. Sometimes I drive it, but it's mainly her that drives the car,
Yeah.
and it is her car. So I try to just leave her drive her. But I tell y'all, if she tells me, "Oh, there's a noise," I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna drive around because I don't want nothing to happen to her. I will just deal with, even if it's uncomfortable, my knees in there, because she comes first before pain or anything. So I will always put her first and check it and make sure that it's good.
He didn't drive it last time, but he heard it when I was driving.
Yeah, I heard it to where I
Yes.
didn't have to ride
Yeah.
it, and that's why I said we need to make an appointment, get it over here.
Yeah.
And it's never fun dropping your car off and having to wait and do all this. I dread it. And thank God my problem kind of resolved itself, because I had to think about taking mine in, and God just works stuff out, you know.
Marvelous ways.
But listen, guys, we're around the corner from the dealership, so we're gonna. Do you want to end it here, or are we gonna come back?
We can end it here if you want, or we come back and say a few things.
We'll come back once we get back home and drop the car off. But y'all, that'll be a snapping finger for y'all.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take care of this at the dealership. We'll see you back for a closing here. Don't go nowhere. Hey, buddy.
Hello.
All right, so we got back from the dealership.
Yes, we picked up the loaner car.
It's the same kind of car.
Yeah, just a little bit more
Bells.
amenities. You know, bells and whistles.
She likes it.
Yeah, I do.
And she said, "Ooh, I'd like to trade mine and get something like this." I'm thinking, another tuna can.
It's not that small, but it's small for him. I just like the way this one drives and the different stuff it has, motorized seats and all that. I like that.
More crap to break when it to fix when it breaks down.
Trunk lift key, and you can just close it with a press of a button. I like all that.
Yeah, it's probably about 15,000 more than what she paid for the original one, just because of those amenities.
Probably so.
Who knows?
Really.
She can look into it.
But
It's her car.
yeah, I'll be just having to pay that much longer. But you know, life is short. So if you want something, you should try to get it if you can.
Maybe she'll get it cheaper.
Yeah, maybe I can get a better interest rate or something. Who knows?
So all about incentives.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, anyways, so we'll see how the rest of it goes. They said we have to get it through the weekend, and then Monday she's got a doctor appointment to go to.
So I guess they'll be finished sometime tomorrow, or if I can't get it tomorrow, I know they should be finished. And I should be able to
Well, it
pick
won't
it
be
up
ready
by
until
Tuesday.
Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, Friday, and then you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
yeah.
But when she, most likely, it'll probably be ready by Monday afternoon. But it looks like we won't be back to pick up till Tuesday.
Yeah,
That's probably what's going to happen.
Doctor's appointment Monday afternoon.
Yeah, so Tuesday morning after we get situated, and after breakfast, we can run up there and go get it. So, and it won't be as much traffic either.
Once people get all on their jobs. Because when they're trying to get to work, it's a lot of traffic
Yeah,
and bad driving.
yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. So the Ford Fiasco
Yeah.
might turn into be fabulous. Well, I don't know what the other word would be, but anyways.
Fantastic.
Yeah, there you go.
Fantastic.
So anyways, I just want to remind everybody to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel
Please like, comment, and subscribe.
if you haven't already.
Yes.
Notice how she speaks nice and loud versus Ty. You cannot hear when he's speaking it.
I don't know why he's so quiet.
I don't know. We have to tell him to speak up a little bit for y'all.
Really.
Because you're going down the road and
You got that road traffic.
sound the tires.
Yeah.
So we know that we have to speak loud in order for y'all to hear it when we do the editing.
Yeah.
But anyways, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe, like Cheryl said. And as always, Cheryl says,
We are the carers.
and we're caring is sharing. And we're sharing our lives with you.
Bye-bye.
See you later, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening.